Hello, I'm having a wild night. I'm doing elementals, but if you watch my general video, which I don't even know if I truly recommend, you'll understand that I am actually doing a different deck for each sign tonight. And the order of things has always been slightly important to me. Every time I do readings, I go in order. Like I am just that kind of person. So I start with Aries when I do the zodiac, and I start with fire signs when I do the elements, and I go in order every time. Something tonight is just driving me insane to do very sporadic and weird things. So I am starting with air signs. I'm justifying this because I want to do earth signs last. So if I do air signs first, then I can still go in order and earth signs will be last. But also because I actually contemplated doing this for a while where the first, or whatever season it is, would be first, and then I'd go in order from there, just to give people a chance, because, you know, I usually do all my readings in one night, but, you know, I'll start at 9 p.m., and so the first few will be uploaded at a decent time, whereas the later signs get uploaded at more indecent times, if you will. So I'm switching it up. I'm saying it just to let you know that you're first tonight, air signs. Happy Libra season. So, air signs, as I mentioned, everybody's got different decks. Air signs getting the Halloween Oracle. So, these are going to be channeled messages, mostly from the deceased, a little bit from spirit, possibly other contacts, and just things that you generally need to know. What's going on with air signs? What's the flow? Is there any flow, air signs? That's the thing. It feels like a lot of you are being very grounding, which is fine, but it's actually not your forte. So if you're trying to ground people who are naturally more grounded than you, I'm hearing it may be time to dip. Maybe time to dip. You are not supposed to be the grounding force, is the thing. You are supposed to be the one who inflicts thought, invokes thought. Look, blind spots. You're missing something here. You're not supposed to be grounded. That is so interesting because I feel like I would never tell anyone to break their healthy routines or to give anything up on a whim by any means. But something, all I'm hearing right now is that you're too grounded. Air signs, you're too grounded. That's so strange. You're not supposed to be grounded at all. Ironically, as not only an earth sign, but a triple fixed sign, triple fixed placements, you know, my big three. I am very ungrounded, but I still have the power to ground people. I still provide that feeling for others, although in my life I resemble more of an air or mutable or something, you know, as I am. So, stereotypes out the window. We don't care about stereotypes around here, okay? I make little jokey jokes, but I'm not even an astrologer, so you gotta understand. When I say that you're too grounded, time to lift off. Somebody is calling you from the other side. I don't want to sit here and be like it's John Lennon again. We just did like a whole thing. Come on. What's the deal? Especially because I had this image of him the other night. He was fucking crazy. It was like he was getting carried off. It was just so nuts. I don't know if he ever was in a psychiatric facility in his life. I mean, I would say it's a possibility, but just like madness. And that was a lesson. It was not anger. It was not delusion. It was not insanity. It was madness. And there is such a difference. It's such a taste to madness. It's almost like metal that drives you insane. But it's so subtle that you don't seem crazy. You just wake up and have gone mad. So interesting, right? It was madness. It was madness. So weird. Y'all are really blocking blessings here. You're too grounded. Again, never fuck with one's stability, but if you gotta shake things up a bit, you gotta shake things up a bit. You know, you gotta do you. Look at trick or treat. Mischief and play. Just pops out of the deck. I am gonna read these. I know sometimes with the Halloween Oracle I don't. If we get too many I won't, but I like to be able to shuffle and give messages, but these cards do seem to be telling a story that I would like to discuss. So, air signs, what's going on? You can watch the general video for more info on these cards. I went a little, I was just going sideways. I was just channeling. I was using multiple decks. I mean, it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot. Intuitivity. I don't think that's a word. I'm pretty sure that's not a word. If I don't stop shuffling these, you're going to get the whole freaking deck. So, girl, girl, isn't anyone going to listen to my story? Girl, I have like, it's almost like, the songs I listen to and the songs that get stuck in my head are two different lists of songs. It's almost like I like some better in my head or coming out of my mouth. Cocky, we know. Okay, so messages. What's going on with Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, you guys? Eternal love, bottom of the deck. I don't always do bottom of the deck with the Halloween Oracle. In fact, I usually don't. But I felt compelled to. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. Some of you, I think, are ignoring the call to intuition. I think that's really what this message is. I'm going to break it down card for card, but I think some of you are forgetting that there are such things as past lives. I'm not really here to convince anybody. I think I'm here to remind you. I think you already believe some of this shit, and you have strayed away from it, you've forgotten it, you've denied it, you've rejected it for whatever it is, but I'm telling you that's part of the groundedness is you're grounding yourself in reality. You're grounding yourself in 3D. You're not giving any time or energy to thoughts. I almost said provisions. I don't know really what provisions means other than like party supplies, like provisions. I don't know where that word's coming from. You can always tell if I'm doing a channel message. There's a few different ways, but if I'm not looking at the camera, chances are I'm channeling. I got my shoes on today. It's so weird, right? I'm elevated. I love to pretend to people. So, John loved Robbie most of all. I never thought I'd say that out loud. I had a lot to unpack in that, and I'm not about to, okay? If you're a Beatles fan, you can talk to me about it directly, but I don't go into it on the channel. But be true to yourself, I think is the underlying message, and I do feel like there's a bit of John Lennon coming out, and it's my fault. I'm doing an air sign reading with the Halloween Oracle 10 days after his birthday, so of course he's going to feel not even obligated to speak, but, you know, like insightful, so I guess we'll rock with it. A little bit of John Lennon here. Hours can go by without saying a word. You can have a more complete conversation with someone than you've ever heard, okay? Isn't anyone going to listen to my story? He would have sang it different, that's all. Just would have sang it different. That's why I keep singing it, is because he would have sang it different. It's really not about girls at all. Wow. This is veering so hard from where we started, but it's time to let yourself go. It's time to get back to the source of the flow. It's time to become what you know. It's time to do as not what you're told, but as you tell yourself. Connecting to a higher power. Connecting to a higher self. You notice my lights keep kind of like flashing and stuff. That one changes color, and you can kind of see when it gets bright and dark, and it might be creating this effect of the flashing. I usually set this to the color of the element of whatever reading I'm doing. I can't remember ever really leaving it on rotate, but I was very called to match, you know, monster energy. Anyway, these are all a bit trailing, but I think that's sort of what I do. That's part of the thing with channel messages is when you do general readings or whatever, if you're talking to a nondescript human being, you might be delivering a very personal message, but you don't know who you're watching, so it's very hard to get on the right frequency. It's very hard to tune in to a specific person if you don't know who it is you're talking to, right? So the messages that come through may not be so succinct that they are fluid. Lots of breaks, lots of different thoughts, lots of direction, but the point is that there's a selection. You take what resonates, what rings in your ear, whoever it reminds you of, pass it along. Stop for dear. Stop for dear. Stop for dear. Even if, this is very, very, very specific and interesting message. I'm not sure why this is coming across, but again, these are just personal tonight because honestly, I didn't get very many views on the last set of videos, and I'm expecting about the same. So the advantage of that is that it becomes a lot more personal and interesting for those who do watch. Okay, stop for dear. If you see one, literally stop your fucking car. Like, stop driving. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure for how long. It's deer season. It's just like, if there's one, there's more, but also keep score. So count how many deer you see. Stop when you see them. It's not like you'll hit it or prevent an accident, but also it's just like divine timing. Okay, trust me when I say this. Stop your car when you see a deer. Even if you just put it in park for a second, pull over, whether or not you turn it off, doesn't even matter. Just literally do it, okay, when you see a deer. Write down a thought that you're having when you stop, or do something. You know, if you're like driving, you see a deer, like, I gotta get gas anyway, get the gas. You know what I'm saying? But if you just are stopping randomly, you know, like on the side of the road, granted, I don't recommend anybody do that very long. Do it safely and pull off if you can, obviously. But write down whatever thoughts you're having when you see it. Okay? So fucking interesting. What a very oddly specific. It's so funny because I've had this theory too that air signs are most likely to drive a stick. That's just so weird. Switching gears, switching gears, switching gears, switching gears. So, stop for deer. You can look up what they mean and represent. Obviously, they have their ties in the alien community. So there's that. If you want to know more, we could talk about it directly, not in the video. So, stop for deer. Okay. Stop this video and look up the spiritual meaning of deer. I don't know what it is. Look up whatever. Do your research if you have to. If you're not physically stopping a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? Stop for deer. Okay. It's so weird. If there's someone in your life that calls you deer, or that you call deer, it's a little bit of an outdated term. I feel like it's not very common. So it could be like an elderly person. It could be, I mean, this could be somebody who passed away, especially because remembrance is on the table. So if somebody calls you that or is called that, okay, like deer in the name, because like DEAR obviously is what I'm referring to. Stop for them. Stop and listen. Stop and see what they have to say. It's 11:11 on my time. This is probably somebody's grandma from the grave. Sorry to be frank. Okay. That was weird. And now I'm going to read the cards, I guess. Winter, the sacredness of pausing. Slow your ass down, and then you can pick up speed, okay? Even though we talked about this grounding and everything, you're grounding, but grinding and grinding yourself into the ground. So, rest. Learn when to sleep, learn when to reset, learn when to take a break, learn when to sit down, learn when to relax, learn when to let go, learn how to manage the flow of emotions, of the tides, whatever it is, right? It's about to be a full moon. You're in for a fucking ride. That's for goddamn sure. So, with the veil, the future, you see it, you're lying. You're lying if you say you don't. That's what I'm saying about the grounding, and you're so attached to the 3D, you're like, that's not real, that's not true, but you see your future. You're seeing your future. Period. I fucking know you are. Seeing your future. And you're in a state of denial because you're not sure how to access that future. Okay? part of the process is to visualize it so much that you can fucking taste it, and it tastes like metal. You are seeing visions of your future. Granted, if they're not good or pleasant visions, then you need to course correct now. You feel me? If you're seeing yourself dying, then you need to be paying attention to your health. If you see yourself sad, then you need to be taking care of your mental health. Okay, it's that kind of thing, right? Your emotional well-being. If you're happy and doing what you love, then you need to fucking make sure that that's what you're doing right now. Okay, or you'll never get that future. Doesn't matter which way it goes or how it makes you feel. You're seeing your future. Always open to course correction. You know what I mean? Always. So interesting, these messages. And then the lamp, remembrance. That's what we were talking about. Is it could be somebody's grandma. It could be my grandma. It was a fucking Gemini queen, right? Catholic spaghetti queen. Was a Gemini. So air signs, yes, right? And she had a lot of Libras, actually, in her life, including her children, grandchildren, etc. So, ha! You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it thunder, lonely day, another lonely day. I don't really know the words to that song. I don't know why it popped in my head. But there it is. Not sure Stevie Nicks' birthday, actually, which is weird. I feel like she might be a Cancer. Spider, community, and web weaving, going back to John Lennon things, obviously, but remember to always let spiders live. We catch and release in this bitch, okay? Community and web weaving, it's time to connect with people who are on your level, people who will get you to the level you want to be on, because sometimes you surround yourself. I'm surprised I don't see the owl right now. I feel like that's the trouble with air signs, is they don't even care who they're around, because they're like, I'm going to be no matter what, and you don't even realize how influenced you are, because when you think about subliminal messaging in TV, something as basic as product placement, okay? We're talking simple, we all get this, but it works. Why does it continuously work even if we're hip to it, even if we know that it's happening? We know somebody paid for this ad for us to then buy whatever they're selling, okay? And we watch it, and it's fine. We love that. How many people bought Eggos after they watched Stranger Things? I still think about Dr. Pepper when I think about American Horror Story. Okay? So, it fucking works. Why does it work if we're aware of it? So you have to understand, everyone is subliminal messaging at all times, whether they are doing it in a conscious way or whether they're doing it in a natural, so to speak, way. We are constantly being influenced by our surroundings and what we're taking in. So, yes, you are affected. You are the company you keep, because it's what you become once you spend enough time doing anything or anyone, right? That's why some people, including myself, can get so immersed into things like television, aside from product placements, right? I start to really love the places that I see and the people that they've created. Same with book readers are like that too. They fall in love with book characters, you know? And that's because you spend so much time doing it. And if it's so easy to have such passion about a fictional character, like when you really hate someone on like Game of Thrones or whatever, no, I didn't fucking watch it, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you all fucking were pissed that the guy won. Well, it's a TV show, it was always just supposed to be for fun, but you had real feelings, okay? So even beyond the obvious methods of product placements and whatnot, you know, there's tonal, it's something tonal, I don't know. So it's rambling, but it's a reminder. There's a reminder. Quality over quantity. You are your company. You are your company. Anyways, find new people, probably. Just saying. Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes. Sometimes you just gotta let a motherfucker burn. Sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker burn. Sometimes you gonna let a motherfucker burn. Hate that. I prefer to grant access than burn bridges, right? Where it's open road until you are closed. And then you just ask to come back and I'll let you back. But sometimes you gotta just strike a match and just be done, you know? Just be done. You'll create something better, more beautiful, you know? Even if it's yourself, even if it's parts of you that you don't like, or a mentality you once had, or anything like that. It could be language or taste of any sort. Taste is a big thing this evening, but again, you can go your own way, right? Beautiful. Okay. Scrying, intuition. If I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you, and you know it. If I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you, and you know it. Okay. Zombie control. This kind of ties into this whole subliminal messaging. You don't even realize when you're being controlled. That's usually how mind control works, isn't it? You're not supposed to really be aware. Why would they give you the power to think for yourself if they're controlling your mind? It's not that serious, zombie, right? If you're like scrolling too much or smoking too much or thinking too much, anything that just is consuming you inside and out, you know, that would be what has control over you. But it makes you move in this way of like nonchalantness and drabby sort of mopey energy. So you gotta just stop letting things control you, even if it's like, I almost just feel like a possessive partner or something. I don't know. Obviously I'm the person I am. I'm always gonna say dump him, but you know, don't let anything control you, mostly because it's not a good look. 1019 on 1019. Okay, so anyways, mummy change. It's time to let that shit go. Whether it's like a substance controlling the mind kind of thing, you know, it could be anything, but it's time to change that. Nothing should be having control over you but you know. And I feel for people who deal that stuff, but I'm not getting into it. Cauldron, sweet, synergy and healing. So it's time to make that elixir mixer. Okay, it's time to fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. It's time to do the thing that's going to bring you cooperation and coordination. Okay, even though it's synergy and healing, but that's what I'm getting from this. Trick or treat. Mischief and play, which I feel like air signs play too much, especially Geminis, but it's time to go about this heavy journey very lightly. Okay, that's what I would take from all of this, is going about a very heavy journey very lightly, light on your feet. Okay, Skull of Darkness, blind spot. There will be bumps along the way. There will be things and people who test you and tease you and make you question everything, but now is the time to keep going. Gah. I hope I get this good message. Oh, owl, wise seeing, wise action. This is what I was getting at earlier. It's quality over quantity. It's you are what you become what you are, company you keep, whatever. This is that card that I said I was surprised wasn't on the table. It was just face down. So wise seeing, wise action. If you don't like what you see, why are you looking at it? Period. If you don't like what you see, why are you looking at it? Go look somewhere else. Like, obviously, what the fuck? What the fuck? Especially if people are very honest about who they are and open about what they do. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't like that shit. I've been there, you know, because, for example, I'm not a very big drinker. Okay? I have alcoholic-like tendencies. That's why I've actually mostly given it up, except for very rare special occasions in which I am controlled, right? Self-controlled, but controlled. It's been very freeing to be free of alcohol. But this is my example, is that over time, I was friends with a lot of people who would drink every fucking day. I'd work in bars. You know what I'm saying? And I would surround myself in alcohol, in the culture of alcohol. And basically would complain that all everybody did is drink. Probably because you drink too much when you drink, bitch, me, yes. You know, probably because you're working in bars and shit. Of course, people drink at bars. Just go somewhere else if you want to meet people who don't drink every day or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that was a moment of my wise seeing, wise action. I was complaining about what I was seeing, but I was becoming it. Because, you know, you're at the bar every day. You're going to drink every day. It's your day off. Well, it's my turn to get drunk. Someone else can worry about it, you know? So that's very specific. You could be dealing with alcohol abuse, or it could be anything. I'm just using that as a very tangible example and a relatable moment, but it's really, you know what you're going through. You know what you're dealing with. So wise seeing, wise action. If you don't like it, don't look at it. Period. That's on fucking God. The witch, the earthly weaver of the world. So let someone else be the grounding force in your life. Get you an earth sign. I'm just kidding. Get you a witch. No. So, anyways, bro. I feel like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Earthly weaver of the world. Connecting, getting into that spiritual momentum. You know what I'm saying? So, joy, rejoicing in the present. Okay, speaking your blessings and your gratitude every morning. I feel like air signs are typically pretty good at that, but if you are slipping or forgetting, it could be why your life seems to be not going the way you want it to. And of course, the underworld, where, the sacredness, where all things pause and begin again. Yes, where all things pause and begin again. So I believe winter came up earlier, did it not? Yes, it did. The sacredness of pausing, the underworld where all things pause and begin again. Of course, winter is when Persephone is in the underworld, so I find that interesting. I just flip this remembrance back on top. I am available for personal Halloween oracle readings. It would be for anyone who wants to contact a loved one, or John Lennon's ready to fucking talk. The spider came out, that's why I said that, but if you want a personal reading, I'm open. 27:27 on the clock. As I said that, I am done. Thank you for tuning in. If you watched this long, happy birthday, Libra. $10 off of any reading for Libra. Only a couple more days on that, so get it in quick. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment if you want to. But also, I'm so self-conscious sometimes, despite the cockiness, that I don't really know if I want you to. So anyways, love you so much. Thanks a lot.